Thank you, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here today. My role and responsibility is supporting a great sales team across all of the Nordics, UK and Ireland, really focusing around the embedded PCs and the gateway, edge gateway systems. Just before we start to share our story, I'd like to share a quick video with you.
Can anyone help me?
Magic is pretty amazing. It can transform a frog into a prince, and sadness into happily ever after. But it can't transform your business. Introducing Dell Technologies. 7 technology leaders now working together under one name. We are transforming jet engines into turbo-powered safety inspectors. Dairy cows into living, breathing data centers. And even a single hospital room into a global diagnostic network. And though it seems like magic, it's not. It's not the simple wave of a wand. It's people and technology working together to transform impossible into reality. Magic can't make digital transformation happen, but we can. Let's make it real.
So digital transformation, or IoT, is probably the most hyped technology trend that's out there to date, even taken over from things like big data. And that's great, but it also creates some challenges. And what we see within the market space right now is there's a lot of companies looking at consumer-grade type products and trying to make them work in commercial applications, which doesn't typically work. I've actually been at meetings where I've seen engineers in the labs looking at Raspberry Pis and then looking at ways to try and scale those out into hundreds of thousands of sites across the globe. And that's where some of the challenges come in around security, scaling the product, service and support, and so on. But as part of this, I always like to look out for, what is the next consumer-grade product out there. And this is one of the latest ones I found, Peggy, the intelligent clothes peg. This will actually tell you when your washing's dry. It knows your location, so it links into the local weather forecast and will tell you the most optimal time of the day to hang your washing out. Great product, but this is not where Dell focuses. Our focus, like I said before, is around the industrial and the commercial side, and that's what we're really trying to help our customers and our partners identify. So how do we see things? So when we look at a traditional IoT landscape and we start looking at true edge-to-edge capability, I always like to cut this slide in the middle when we start to look at secure and connectivity and security. Dell's had a series of great products over the years, such as SonicWall, which is helping block millions and millions of threats per day for our key customers and clients out there. Then when we move into server storage networking, again, we've had a great diversity of products. And recently, with the acquisition of EMC, that diversity of products expanded tremendously. And then when we start to move further over to the edge, we start looking at software products such as Boomi. Boomi allows you to collect data from multiple sources, bring all of that valuable data into one central point, where you can then start to do some analytics on the information you're collecting. But really, the focus for me is around the edge gateways and the intelligent things. So whether you're using a gateway for purely collecting data from a series of sensors, aggregating all of that data into a central point, and then sending it out to the cloud, or whether you're looking at using a more high-performance gateway platform and doing on-edge analytics or on-edge compute, that's when we have a whole series of different building blocks that you can take. And the same with the intelligent things on the left-hand side. We've got a series of embedded industrial-grade PC platforms that are designed and optimized to work in this environment, such as intelligent transportation, intelligent delivery for power management, etc., all the way down to robotics, factory automation, control type systems. And when we overlay our product set, this is how the landscape looks. So we've got a great diverse product range that's helping some key partners to take those building blocks and deliver their intelligent solution or their intelligent platforms. All of these are underpinned by some key areas such as manageability, security. You know, we'll mention security many times, and I'm sure you'll hear a lot of speakers today talking about security. Probably one of the most difficult areas within the whole IoT space to make work, getting that bit right. And then we have a whole IoT partner program, which I'll come on to a little bit more detail later on, and global support and finance. So our service centers, this is a great picture of one of our service centers in Austin. And we've got a whole series of these around the world. As well as looking at the call logs coming in and making sure that we're responding back to service level agreements and making sure our partners and our customers are maximizing their runtime. We're also monitoring live news feeds, which you can see in the top left-hand corner here. In the event of a natural disaster, Dell's provisioning is as such where we can move equipment from one location to another. So in the event of a disaster, we will start to, in real time, provision for that event taking place. And I love this slide. This is one of our facilities in Limerick in Ireland, and we've got a series of these facilities around the world. This is the IoT lab. So this is where we're bringing real customer engagements into the lab to showcase their solutions, but also allow them to bring in their technology, add it to the Dell technology, and with our engineers, we're able to provision, help them service and show things, how things are happening, etc. We also work with some key partners around IoT out-of-the-box starter kits. So one of the things we've realized with some of our partners out there, that it's quite difficult to get some customers going with their projects. So if we can have an out-of-the-box experience where all of the software, everything has been provisioned in advance, so you literally take it out the box, turn it on, and it works, this is a great experience for the user. And we've partnered with Relayer for one of the starter kits and the Savvy and Epicenter for one of the other starter kits. So I mentioned we acquired EMC last year. That expanded the product portfolio out somewhat, which you look at it and think, wow, where do we start? So typically around the industrial and IoT space, we take a step back and we start to provision the right products that are fit for purpose for that vertical segment or that project. And within the embedded and gateways, you know, the main difference between these type of platforms is the way they've been designed around the mil-spec 810G. So they've been designed to work in harsh environments. They're capable of operating at -30 to +70 degree operational temperature range. And they've also been optimized for long life cycle revision control. So I want to share some real life customer examples with you. So this example here, we see a lot of issues going around with ATMs being vandalized or broken into. And some of the latest ways we've seen criminals breaking into these things is pumping butane gas into the ATM, lighting a fuse and exploding the cash out of the housing. So with this solution, we were able to add some sensors, a gateway to connect to a central operator, and we're now able to deter criminals to stop them breaking into the ATMs. Mining is also another area within the IoT space, the digital transformation side of things, that we're seeing a big shift in the way traditional businesses have looked at things. This client of ours came to us and said, hey, we've got these mining machines that if they go down, it costs us tens of thousands of dollars per hour if they're not working. So they gave us a tough task because they wanted a system that operated at -10 to plus 80-degree operational temperature range, but they also wanted the system to be completely waterproof and house a whole series of third-party communication and other devices within the unit. So we actually designed this enclosure for one of our gateway products with the client, even to the point where we had to design an external accessible SIM card holder because they didn't want engineers on the field to take the lid off and start tampering with sensitive electronics, etc. So this is a great project for us, and it's changing the way the mining community work. So I've mentioned partners, and I heard other speakers mention partners. We as Dell view the whole digital transformation in IoT space as a partner-centric environment. There's no one company out there that can deliver IoT. When we start to talk to some key customers, there may be 2 or 3 ISV partners involved, specialist system integrators involved. To that point, we've invested heavily, and we've started looking at who are the key partners out there to create an eco channel. So we've created something called DellIoTPartners.com. You can go onto this site, it's live now. You can drill down by country, by vertical, by application, and see what partners are working in what areas. And these are all live engagements, so these are real partners that are up and running and able to deliver full solutions now. So bringing the IoT, the Internet of Things, together, it's not magic, as the video said. It's about people, about companies coming together. And when I started to try and think of how is it best summarized, I watched a recent video by our Vice President and General Manager, Andy Rhodes, summarizing it perfectly. So I'd like Andy to say a few more words as the last point.
It's an incredibly exciting time in our industry right now, especially as there's this huge imperative to companies to get on board with the digital economy and digitize their businesses. And a big part of that is the Internet of Things, IoT. And in Dell, we've spent the last couple of years really helping customers to ingest or gather all of this massive amounts of data, net new data that's been created by their things, whether that's an air conditioning unit, a truck, or a turbine. So we at Dell have been helping them collect all that data, ingest it, and then analyze it, whether it's at the edge of the network, which has now become known as the fog, or all the way back into their data centers or their clouds. With the merging of EMC and Dell, we now have even more assets to help customers put together the infrastructure behind the IoT. Whether it's things like VMware's VOps or AirWatch to help actually manage all of those assets, those things, or RSA. Security is still the #1 concern that our customers have when deploying IoT solutions. All the way through to Pivotal, which really allows customers to build a very, very flexible back end to allow them to analyze all of this data. And then you just look at EMC's capabilities around all of the data management and data storage that they have. That really helps our customers bring it all together. So what it means is we're going to have the most comprehensive portfolio out there, which really leads to choice and flexibility. Couple that with the best partner program, and that culminates all in us offering these solution blueprints really for faster ROI and to get these projects done faster.
So that's it from me today. We're over in the far corner. We are waiting for our demonstration kit to arrive. Maybe we should have helped our couriers to try and get some IoT in advance to help the delivery. But we should have that by lunchtime. Any questions? Happy to meet you all, and thank you.
Thank you, Mike.